My name is Piercey Monafu. I am a playwright. That's where I like to direct most of my creative energy. I'm a theater director. I'm a facilitator, working with special populations, often using drama. So I worked in healthcare and mental health care with that. And I'm also an entrepreneur, which to me means just making things happen. And usually those are art related. Creativity plays a very large role in my life. It's everything in a lot of ways. Like it's my work. It's also how I feel like a well person. I think for me, it's a big part of being a good spouse, being a good friend, being a good community member, being a good mom. Like it's in a lot of things, being a good colleague. I think in a lot of my work, what I'm actually trying to do, or where it is rooted in me personally, is in hospitality and the true sense of the word of making space for people to be themselves, to experience something new, to connect with each other, maybe to be changed. You know, you kind of always hope that with art, even if it doesn't always happen. So I think about that when I'm writing plays, that the people are going to come together in the same space to watch them. I think of that in directing, of course, and then in my art production. So I have a company called CSArt Ottawa where I produce other artists' work. We always have live events, and I love the moments when the hosting works, where I can bring patrons to meet artists, and there's like a little bit of magic in the air. So I think that's behind a lot of what I do. And then it's also what I do on my free time, like having people over for dinner or just like hosting fun theme parties is part of who I am, and then that comes through my work. So what I'm working on and what I'm striving for are two different things. What I'm working on right now that I'm really excited about is a play that takes place in the near future, where virtual reality has become more of a widespread household necessity. And I'm working on that with a sound designer, working on this multimedia reading experience. So I'm really excited about that. What I am striving for is figuring out how I'm going to take care of my new baby, who's 3 months old, and continue working creatively. When there's always it's always hard to get funding, to have enough time. Those are the two big things, funding and time. So just trying to figure out how that's gonna work. I'm really proud when the hosting works. So in those moments of magic where there's a little shiver in the air, whether that's like in an audience or even like around a dinner table when the conversation is just like so good. So I'm proud when that happens, though I don't think it's kind of outside of myself that happens. Like I try to create the space, but people still have to bring the good stuff for it to happen. And then I'm proud in a way that my work is not easily understood, though I realize that's a really dangerous thing to be proud of. But I don't like to go to a show and already know what it's about before I even get there. And I think sometimes that element of my work of being a little mysterious, doesn't lead to like rave reviews necessarily. But when somebody tells me they're still thinking about what I wrote a couple months later, that is success in my mind. I listened to a podcast, it's the Revisionist History podcast by Malcolm Gladwell, an episode on like Picasso's versus Cézanne's, and how like the two different creative ways of working, and how there are artists who just like pump out stuff, and then there are other artists who take decades to make a painting, and how both are valuable. But it helped me come to terms with the fact that I'm slow, and that's okay. Don't listen to the people who don't get your idea at all, or who are afraid of doing things in a new way. But do listen to the criticisms of the people that you trust, and who do get the idea but have reservations. And then telling the difference between those two people is really difficult, and that's kind of up to you.